Jesse, I know you were asking about team building stuff.
Yeah, you know me, I always want to know any tips on that. So my goal for the past 2 months since I really started like working the business has been to hit, my goal has been Success Club 10, so that I would at least hit 5. And then to add 2 new coaches a month. So I have done that.
Awesome.
Didn't hit 2 this month, but I hit 7. So I was like, I'm not going to stress over it and just go ahead and get ready for next month. But my main focus is building a good, solid team of people that I want to take this journey with, not just, you know, oh, you want to sign up? Oh, let me talk you into coaching. Like people that I want to spend time with and want to do everything with. So I have 2 coaches so far that are in for it for the business. Becca, like I said, just signed up today, and we've known each other since we were in 5th grade.
Awesome.
We were neighbors. But my other 2 are just discount coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So, which, you know, is completely fine. But I guess my thing is just how do you look for those people? Like most of my people in groups have kind of been on the fence about it. But just, I guess, what do you look for when you're going after that besides those people that stand out in challenge groups?
That's a great question. And honestly, the answer is going to come back. It's seemingly fluffy, but there's strategy behind it. My immediate answer and thought is you become that person. Like you become the person that you want to attract. So if you are trying to attract people who take their financial goals seriously, or you want somebody who's like girl boss, self-discipline, if you want to attract people who will be positive and not negative, like you obviously have to throw that out there to attract that. I mean, sometimes opposites attract. That's totally right. Like me being a positive person on Facebook might attract negative people because they need more of that in their life.
Yeah.
But to attract business builders, I talk about the business more. I know, especially at the beginning of my business, like building to diamond, I talked a lot about my vision and my aspirations for our team. I talked a lot about, I just had a lot of energy. I had a lot of energy around like where I knew I was going. It might not have been there yet, but like the excitement was contagious. So like people were sitting on the edge of their seat like, what is she? She's so excited. Like, oh, she's going place. Like they just want to watch me. Just much like me, like I want to watch new people who start something. I want to see them be successful. Or some people, unfortunately, just want to see if you flop, but you won't. But people are attracted to positive energy. So if you, through your conversations, specifically through your Facebook wall, posting a lot about the upcoming, you don't know this yet, but I'm doing a virtual retreat in April or May. That's going to be like you have to qualify for it. And so you can talk about this retreat or these things that you're getting, or the coaches who are adding to your team and how you just got off of a one-on-one call with them and how it's absolutely incredible that their goal, blah, 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 blah. Like anything and everything you can think to twist a post around coaching, I think it would pique people's ears.
Gotcha.
And don't be afraid to talk about coaching behind the scenes either. Like there's nothing wrong with leading with a challenge group because people need to see value in the products, but don't be afraid to bring it up sooner than later if you think that they would be a great coach.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
No, it does. It does. Thanks, Laura.
Great question. I mean, and honestly, I'm all about, like, I want people to develop their own empires. Like, I want people to develop their dreams and rally small groups with them. So the point of that is, like, Moxie, okay, we have tons of teams with the teams with the teams, and that's awesome because that's where, like, small group real life happens. I was thinking that, like, equivalent to church, like, life groups, life happens in a smaller environment. So Moxie is like big home, big, but then your team, Jesse, is like, you're creating a family within your team more than I can do with your team. So people think, oh, I need to make a team name real quick, or I need to do like all these fancy logos and t-shirts. And I'm telling people, you don't have to do that at all. But if you want to do that, you can do that when you're diamond, because I feel like that's a good stepping stone.
Oh yeah, I don't even have a banner on our page yet.
Well, I guess I'm not listening. I guess I was like telling you. I was like in general. If anyone.
Oh no, I was just saying. I'm like here. Just free now. Welcome.
I mean, it's fun. It's fun to like cast that vision. And so if you feel completely led to do that, go for it. personally, I did, because like I went for it. I had no person telling me what to do. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make a team name. Because at the time, the only team that I was a part of was Bombshell Dynasty. And I didn't really know what that was. I had no idea who was it with. But when I told my husband about it, he was like, Bombshell, like Victoria's Secret. And he thought that it meant like I had to pose in bikinis and build my business. And so out of respect for him, I was like, yeah, that feels kind of weird. So I'm not going to tell people that I'm in Bombshell Dynasty because I didn't really know what it stood for. I'm going to just make up my own thing. And he was like, okay, thanks. That's a good happy medium. So that is why we have a name. No, really though. That's Moxie came out of my heart, but it was very soon. I did a team name right off the bat because of that. It kind of distracted me a little bit, but it got me excited. Like it cast my vision, and I see nothing wrong with it. I just don't want to take away anyone's energy on building their team when they're like trying to make color schemes for their banner. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is not for you, Jesse. This is like for anyone because I'm recording this. So this is for the world. Hello, anyone.
No, I get easily distracted by that kind of stuff. So that's why I have purposely stayed away from it, because I love doing that kind of stuff, and I know that it'll completely consume me. So I spend on like my graphics on the weekends for the next week. So
it's so much fun. I get it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just have to stay away from it for right now.
I'm reading something in the comments. Hold on. People are watching me. They're waiting to see what my results are. How can I get them to join me and not just wait to see if I can get after picture? I think that's a fantastic question. So somebody was asking, people are watching you and you want to get them to jump in now instead of waiting for your after picture. I think that's a perfect opportunity for you to proactively say, I want somebody to come up beside me in this journey. Like I am doing this and I am losing 20 pounds and I feel confident about myself. And there's no point in sitting back and waiting on me to prove to you that these products work, because by the time I show you that I've hit my goal, you could have already lost 10 pounds with me. So it's a matter of like partnering and coming up beside you, and how really, I mean, the whole point of this is to offer the support and accountability and motivation together. Like that's the awesome part. I guess you can call it like science of Beachbody is like a 3-tier system. You have fitness, nutrition, and support. So the support part comes when you say, come with me, do this with me. And that happens a lot publicly on your Facebook and then privately behind the scenes in your emails or messages, to basically just say, look, would you consider joining a challenge with me next month or on this day? It's going to be incredible. Blah, blah, blah. Cool. Great question. Oh, girl. Hey, Jesse. I can't hear you.
Hey. Okay, so my life has been really crazy, and I'm wondering, I need your input on how you did it, because right now I feel like I'm lucky if I even get a workout in, much less talk to someone.
Okay, crazy with your time. How do you feel? What do you mean?
I'm exhausted.
Crazy, because like you can balance it.
Yes and no. So with how my job works, I work in like time slot kind of things of where I start at sometimes 4 a.m. to jump in on a conference call, and it goes like that until lunchtime. And then if I'm lucky, I can go home and get like a 2-3 hour break before I have to jump back onto conference calls until about 11 o'clock at night. It's just I'm working internationally with different time zones, and it's gotten really hectic since the new year. Like I honestly don't know how I've been even keeping afloat right now.
Yeah. First of all, I want to hug you.
I was going to say, you look great.
Thank you.
Okay, so I want to say every situation is unique, so I'm not pretending to like completely understand what you're going through, but I empathize because I worked full time as well when I did this, and it's hard, like insanity hard. It's crazy mentally. It's really like a huge emotional mental game. It was for me anyways, and it still is at times, because even though I don't have a full-time job outside of beach right now, this is being an entrepreneur. Like, there's going to come with emotional roller coasters with you is a whole new level. So your schedule, what you're saying, is unpredictable. So you don't have like set hours, or do you feel like you can't get everything you would like to do in the set hours that you feel you can offer?
Yes. I'm sure you remember, for every hour you're in a conference call is 3 hours of work. Yes.
Or when they say it's a 30-minute call, it's an hour 15.
Yes.
And I'm like, I ain't got time for this. I got business.
Right. And I don't want this business to affect my performance in my job, because I still made a commitment, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm meeting the commitment to myself with building my own business.
Yeah. Are you a Ruby personality? Do you know what that means?
I'm trying to remember which one it was.
Ruby, Emerald, Pearl, or Sapphire. Ruby is like competitive, leader.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I can tell. I like it because that's what I am. Now with this, take a deep breath. I want you to tonight or sometimes seriously evaluate what is, and I'm not a bare minimum kind of girl. I'm like all in or nothing. But for you to feel proud of yourself, is it like Success Club 5 or Success Club 10? Is it 4 coaches a month or is it 2 coaches a month? What could you literally do? And I don't want you to shoot for the bare minimum, but I want you to develop some type of balance where you could say, okay, if this is my bare minimum, that means that I could do 2 hours a day and hit above the bare minimum. But if all else fails, I'll still be proud of myself. Like, I want you to feel confident that you're moving your business forward, but I do want you to maintain sanity and balance, or you're going to burn out. Like, like I said, I'm not a bare minimum kind of girl, but I don't want you to burn out, because this potential and this opportunity is so important for you that you don't need to burn the bridge. Right. With your heart to this. Like, I don't want this to become resentful. I don't want you to become resentful for your job. I want you to use this to, if you want to replace your job. Mm-hmm. Are you already waking up super early?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fine. I'm saying, like, how are your workouts?
Slack.
Okay. That's a start.
They're
in your mind, you might be thinking, I don't have time to work out. I get it. I used to think, I don't have time to work out. I got to talk to people. But if you don't work out, your head is going to be in a funk, and you're just not going to be able to feel good. Right. Like, even if you have to squeeze in the 10-minute trainer and sweat, just like one little bead of sweat.
I sit and do exercises in my office at work where I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a jumping jacks right now. Just
yeah. That might sound so simple, but I feel like it's such a power over your brain, your mind, and even your confidence to tell people, this has changed me because I am so busy, but I'm still fitting this in. Right. Okay. And I think that's like the first layer of time management for you to practice. And you'll be proud of yourself. You'll feel better about yourself. I have slacked on my workouts so many times. And the second that I get back into it, for some reason, I have more time. I have more confidence. I have more like positivity. But when I slack, I'm like, my business is falling apart. The team hates me. Like, it's weird. So just this week, let's take one step at a time. I know your work is important. You are obviously like huge, fancy, awesome employee, and I admire that about you. That's what we love about you, your work ethic. But make sure for the next 6 days you commit to a workout and you do it every single day, and every single day post about it. And I dare you not to start building some momentum and confidence. And if that means you have 1 hour a day to work on Beachbody, and that's what you're going to do to feel balanced, well, use that 1 hour a day and knock out your power hour. Do not scroll. Do not even check into team pages. You only reach out to new people. You only follow up. You only invite. You only do your power hour during 1 hour.
I mean, that was the second thing. I feel like my power hour is going to my challengers right now and getting them started.
Yeah. Do you have any apprentice coaches?
Yeah, I have 2, and I don't feel like I'm giving them enough time either.
Well, are you giving them responsibility?
I'm sorry?
Are you giving them like responsibility? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm giving, like, they're a part of training, and we still do check-ins. I still did the initial meetup, but if I'm not in that mind frame, I'm not giving you the best value.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I'm not, because I can't really compartmentalize my brain. I can't turn on and off like that. It's weird for me. I get it. Like, do you feel like you need to spend, how much time do you want to spend in your challenge groups every single day?
5 minutes.
Okay. Well, are you saying that you feel guilty that you're not doing more? Because didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. Here's what I do in my challenges. Like, seriously. And I mean, I'm not like the poster child for amazing challenges, but I will post my daily thing. I will like and comment on everyone's thing. I say like and comment on everyone. Sometimes I don't. Whoops. But I try to. But seriously, it's like quick. And then like once a week, I private message each challenger. Hey, how's it going? I missed you. And that honestly, that's all I mean, if you do that, I don't think you should feel guilty, because they can then tell you what they need. And I understand like there's another layer of coaching. Like, I want to be a mentor. I told them I would help. But ultimately, the bigger you grow, the more people you have to help. And it's a hard leadership lesson, but you have to be willing to work with the top 20%. Not necessarily the top 20% of people who will give you more, but the top 20% of people who are showing up for you.
Right.
Like your team, the top 20% of people who are showing up and doing the work, you invest more time into them. The top 20% of your challengers who are showing up and posting and committing, you invest more time in them. It seems like, oh, then what I really need to do is reach down really deep and try to lift up the people who are slacking. Right? But you can't drag people, and it's the same concept with team and challengers. So if you could carve out, okay, if I was only the top 20% of everyone who's actually telling me that they rely on me, could you balance the time, energy, investment in those people? Because then that will multiply. Right. And then maybe it would give a chance for the slackers to rise up, or they're going to slack and go MIA. Anyways, it's a hard lesson. I mean, you just can't drag people. Some people want it now and some people don't. You're always going to have positive rapport with people. You're not going to burn bridges. If they don't respond to you when you message them, it's not your fault. Yeah. I know. You're like, oh.
Thank you.
Does that make sense? I feel like I rambled, but that you just need to.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah. What are the questions you guys have? That's good. If you don't have any questions, then I'll chat. I don't really want to, but I will. I'll tell you that, and I've learned a lot this month. I've learned a lot. I will be your fearless, transparent leader all day, every day. But I have hit Success Club 10 for the past 27 months. But this month was like, I don't know what. I mean, it was weird. It was crazy. So right now I'm at Success Club 9. So I'm like hustle bustle, and I mean I'm going full throttle, like not missing it. I'm committed to my goal, but it was like I get it. Like people who think they can't do it, or people who go up against the wall, or at any point in any day you guys ever thought, well, it's easy for her, it's not easy for me. It ain't easy. I still got to do the work. Like I still am out there contacting new people. Today when I was on my treadmill, I was literally like crazy messaging people and inviting brand new people, one who is buying a challenge bag right now, and I'm like, thank you, goodness gracious. So my story is just constant endurance. I tell people like the tortoise beat the hare, and I will be that person and that leader who just never stops moving her feet. That could be my superpower. You know what I mean? Like one day we're going to be top 10, one day we're going to be a 15-star team. But really, Moxie's superpower is going to be that we just keep going. Like we just believe in it. Balance is relative for each person, and sometimes life is not balanced. Sometimes it is. That just happens. But so that's where I'm at. I mean, enjoying life, doing what I need to do, keep my family priority, and still out there moving and grooving, How are you guys with your goals this month?
I missed 10, but I talked about that earlier.
Jesse, she's like, dang it.
Pity party of 1.
Yeah. 7 is amazing.
Yeah. I do have a question, though. I was trying to think of it a second ago, and you were like, who has a question? And I couldn't remember. But I've noticed, especially like the past 3 or 4 days, such a decrease in Facebook response. Like, I know that usually when I post 3 times a day, there's usually that one post that's a dud. But the past 2 or 3 days, it has been 5 and 6 likes, 7 and 8 even the one transformation picture that I posted that was actually recent. It was when I first started 21 Day Fix, my first round in November, versus one day last week. It got 20 something, which normally those type of pictures have been getting way more. So I didn't know if the affinities had changed or what was going on, because I'm still interacting with people like crazy, and it's not like my posts got more salesy or anything, because I think I've always done pretty well as far as staying away from that. But I was just trying to see if there were any I hadn't heard Shalene say anything in the past month, other than 6 weeks ago when things kind of started changing a little bit. But I hadn't heard anything. I didn't have any effect from it really back then. But now all of a sudden, literally just in this past week, it hasn't been nearly what it has been before. So I'm just worried that I'm not showing up in news feeds as much as I was.
I'll say one thing. I love your feed. I love your wall. It's very colorful, very consistent. I saw let's see, the same picture twice. I think that the emojis, I love those ones. Truthfully, when stuff like that happens and you don't think that people see it, I mean, you have one that has 5 likes, but it has 100,000 comments. I say that. It has 7 comments. So that's good. Sometimes when I post something really good and it's a dud, I will delete it and post it at a different time. Because if somebody sees it again, they're not going to think, oh, that was stupid. They canceled it. And they're going to think, oh, it just popped back up on my newsfeed, because that happens all the time. Posts from last year pop up on my newsfeed.
So instead of sharing the old post, delete it and repost it?
Sometimes I think that would help the affinity. Yeah, even though it's another impression, the way that Facebook measures their affinity is something they call edge. And so if somebody likes it, comments, or shares, it increases the edge, which increases the likability of the post, which means Facebook thinks, oh, people like this, so I'm going to show it more. But if it's fresh, that is also an edge, because then that's the newest news of Facebook in people's lives. So I would play around with it, and if you posted something that was really great, don't be afraid to reuse it. I mean, I've done that a couple of times just for trial and error, and I reuse some pictures because I don't have any new ones. So I'm thinking, oh, people are going to catch me doing this, but they might just think that it was, from a long time ago, and I just boosted it or something. And you're very may well be, is that how you say it, that Facebook is changing affinity, or it just means that Facebook might see you and be like, is she running a business? I don't know what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and hide her. I'm just kidding. But really be mindful so you're not coming across salesy. Be mindful that you're not saying I'm going to give you $1,000 if you join me. Obviously you're not. But Facebook doesn't like that kind of stuff. You're being so subtle. You're being so you and helpful. So don't overthink it.
Okay. That was the one thing I wanted to make sure too, though, was that I wasn't coming across as salesy and didn't realize it.
Yeah. Look.
Sometimes you have blinders, with what you post, and what you say, and you don't realize the way it can come off to other people.
How do you feel like you're doing about sharing your story?
Now that I feel once or twice a week when I post my before and after, that I'm okay on, but I know that
there's different parts of your story.
I was gonna say, I know the past month or two, because I have been more slack on my workouts and all that kind of stuff, that I haven't been sharing it as much because I haven't been consistent. So that's why my goal this month, or at least this challenge group, is to literally work out every single day and not miss a workout, because I haven't hit it hard and been 100% consistent through a whole challenge group since the very first one that I did.
Yeah.
So I eat right, which is weird because I mean, mac and cheese girl is like staying on point food wise, but not workout wise.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, and the reason I ask that is because for anybody, if you're ever feeling like in a what is it called, writer's block, or like you don't know what to share, I always just tell people, when you think about your story, it's not just, here is what my life was before Beachbody, here's what it's like after. Like something maybe unique and special about you that people don't know. That's you. Like share you, or something about your childhood, or something about something vulnerable, or something about what you just accomplished recently. But try to get people to connect with you on an emotional level, not like to make them cry, and not to like write a novel, but sharing stories are so helpful when people want to say, I like her, I feel like I know her. So, that might like jar some energy and interaction, which then would bump you back up to, and more affinity.
Gotcha.
I need to write this down. I need to take my own advice. I need to share a story. Hey, Amy. How you doing? Anything else, ladies? This has been fun.
I guess I had a question on the like page.
Okay.
I have about 140 people on there, and I can't get one like. So Chelsea kind of gave me a couple pointers as far as like posting it on there and then copying it and kind of putting it on my other Facebook, but I'm trying to get away from that. Do you have any pointers?
Why are you trying to get away from it? It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I was just asking.
Yeah.
Your original strategy.
I guess so that I can try to get, put out there a little bit more away from just friends and family and, kind of that area.
I think that's wise, because I think it's always important for you to expand into cold market before you really need it. I will say that it's not your fault that it's slow. That's unfortunately the nature of the beast. So don't think you're doing anything wrong. If your content is solid, it's not that your content is awful. It's that you're not right. It's not that you're doing something wrong. It's that you're not in front of the right people. So when you're trying to create engagement on your like page, it is a uphill. It's almost a vertical battle. So if you're mentally prepared for that, it's an ego thing. I mean, I deal with it, but I'm not saying like you're egotistical. I use ego like as a blanket, but it's an ego thing because it's like, oh, I post this and nobody sees it and it sucks. It doesn't feel good. But if you could share it on your personal page, you can post it back on your personal page. But if you look at the 140 something people who like it, are they already friends with you, or are they new people who aren't friends with you? Because the goal on a like page is to reach a cold market. So that is where it's like beneficial. And truthfully, I think that it's smart if you want to go ahead and like organically try to grow both of them at the same time, your personal page and your like page. So when you need your personal page, when you need your like page, it'll be there. But don't be afraid to focus on your personal page until you, let's say, hit diamond. Okay. And then at that point you can transition to build it, more heavily. But I think that everyone, in my opinion, what I've seen is that everyone pretty much does have enough warm market people to achieve diamond, because diamond is a decision. Like, that's in your control. It's hard. It takes work, but it is your decision. Above that and beyond, it's like you duplicating diamonds, and that's where it's not in your control. That's where you just need to focus on recruiting the right people, which could be cold market, which could be like page. So there's strategy behind it. I am learning as I go. I made a lot of mistakes. I went cold turkey on my like page because I was like, I got to do this. I'm going to get kicked off I'm going to get kicked off of Facebook because Facebook doesn't want you to build business, and it makes me nervous. And what if? So I went cold turkey because I was like, I want people to come over to my like page. Not that it was bad, but I did it for 2 months, and I was like, oh, I can't handle this. What's happening in my personal life? And I don't really know. Maybe that's why I've had such a hard time this month. I don't know if you were on earlier, but I've hit Success Club 10 for the past 27 months. But right now, February, I cannot hit 10 to save my life. And I'm at 9, hopefully, right now. So I'm still going to hit 10 tonight because I'm throwing out some Hail Marys. but it was hard. It was crazy. So it might have been because I jumped over to my like page too soon because I still had warm market people who needed me. So I think maybe doing them both, if you can handle that if you can handle that work, doing them both. And if your like page grows, it grows. But until you're really ready to like run ads and stuff like that, don't worry too much about the engagement.
Okay.
That was a really winded question, but that is honestly, I just want to like hold you and pet you because I get it.
Okay, thank you.
We got 4 minutes left, ladies. Y'all know I'm going to celebrate when I hit 10. I'm going to tell all of you.
In sync.
In sync.
In sync when you hit 10.
What is it? Oh, I will listen to some NSYNC music. I will blare it and quietly blare it in my earbuds so I don't wake my children.
At least yours are asleep.
Well, I think my husband had to beat my 3-year-old to go to sleep. Sorry, I recorded that. I shouldn't have. We don't beat him. Don't call defects.
It's okay.
Oh, heaven. Woo! Being a mother.
You hear that, peanut butter?
All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I'm actually going to give you guys details about a retreat that I'm planning in March, but it's a virtual retreat. I know that sounds weird, but work with me here. And also a new March to Diamond group that I'm launching tomorrow. So if you have a goal of hitting Diamond or anyone in your downline has a goal of hitting Diamond, we're doing a group, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be different from anything we've ever done, anything that I've ever participated in. It's going to be just what our team needs, exactly what our team needs. So excited.
Yay!
Awesome.
So, anyways, all right. Well, let's get back to hustling, doing our thing, and I'm so glad you guys joined on. And awesome. Thanks, Becca, for joining on too. Congrats on being a new coach with us. I know you're like totally baby. Cool. All right. Bye, guys. I'm going to end it with some more Bruno Mars. We'll have a good time. It was fun, girl. Don't say no, 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 no. Just say yeah, 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 yeah. And we'll go. If you're ready, like I'm ready. Cause it's a beautiful night. We're looking for something dumb to do. Hey, baby, I think I wanna marry you. Is it the look in your eyes? Or is it this fancy juice? Who cares, baby? I think I wanna marry you. Just say